Hey guys, this is Moppert with LouisianaBowhunter.com. We've been getting a lot of questions lately about how to make the transition from a climbing stand to a more mobile and versatile lock-on stand system, such as climbing sticks and an aluminum lock-on. So we're going to do a demo today on how to get above 20 feet high with 4 climbing sticks, a cheater step, and a Millennium M7 lock-on. So the goal here is to get above 20 feet high with a climbing stick setup with only leaving the ground one time. So it's important that you have everything strapped to your tree stand or to your body before you leave the ground. I'm going to go through a little bit of that. But first and foremost, the most important part is safety. So you need to start with a good climbing harness, good fall protection harness, and definitely you need a lineman's belt. Doing this without a lineman's belt is not only difficult, but you're going to wear yourself out big time. The second point is you need to practice this before you decide to go hunting. This takes an average of 3 to 5 minutes longer than a regular climbing stand does, but it opens up your world as far as what trees can be hunted and not having to worry about low limbs stopping you and your cables in a climbing stand from going higher. You can go right above those limbs with this setup. And number 3, we're going to go over equipment. My personal preference is a Millennium M7 lock-on. This weighs 8.5 pounds, and you can see I've got my pull-up strap attached to this already. And then I also this year am hunting with Hawk Helium sticks. These weigh about 3 pounds a piece with the buckle. Combined, this is about a 20-pound setup. So the first thing that I do, a nice little tip for you to get an extra 2 feet off the ground, is rather than setting your climbing stick right here to where you would step on it with your first step up, you can actually make a little rope attachment like this, and I've got it taped at the bottom to kind of keep it splayed out. This I take and hook it on the bottom steps, like I'll show you. Put this through like that. Now you've got a nice, what I call a cheater step, an extra extension. So now rather than hanging this right here, I'm going to be able to put it pretty decently high, probably make about an extra 1.5 or 2 feet. And when you are, when you're climbing a tree, especially like this one where it doesn't have any foliage at the top to help hide you, that extra 1.5 or 2 feet makes a big difference. Step 2, I'm going to start gathering everything I need to make this climb. All right, so first step is I'm going to put my stand on my back, and this is going to stay on, and this is going to be the last thing that I take off at the top. Now I've got my bow and my bag on this pull-up rope attached to my stand, so when I get to the very top, I'll be able to pull it up with me. Second thing is I'm going to take the block. If you're familiar with Millennium stands, this is how they're all set. There's a receiver on the back of this stand that slides into that slot right there, and this ratchets down. So what I've done is I've taken a pretty simple knot here. I've made it so I can put it over my shoulder. I'm going to hang 2 steps from my side, and they're going to be dangling from my waist, and I'm going to have them when I get up above the second step to attach. So what I have is a piece of paracord on either side. This is just a loop. And what I do is I put these steps, the feet of them, the claw feet, in between them and take them off at the top. So next step is this. Put my, and that's it. So now the only thing I have left that it's not attached to me is this step, which I'm going to use to climb right now and get to the second, probably about 8 to 10 feet up. And start climbing. I take my lineman's belt, put it around the tree so I have use of both hands and lean back. That way I'm not fighting myself trying to hold on to the tree and set a stick at the same time. Loosen this one up and hang it the same way I did the first. So the last step in this process is I need to hang this receiver block. So earlier I tied a very simple knot here. What I'm going to do is undo it, slide it off my back, and then you've got, it says which way's up, which way's down. And I'm going to pass this strap around the back side and get it ratcheted in pretty tight and then hang my stand. It's a pretty quick process. This is my favorite part about the lineman's belt. I'm about 17 feet off the ground at my feet, and I've got full use of my hands up here. So now flip it over. Now I'm ready to hunt. It's a little easier to get into. Climb to the top. We're in. That is 20 feet on the dot, which means where I am, where I'm standing, if I'm shooting, about 24 feet to my chest. 20 feet to my feet, 24 feet to my chest. That's 4 climbing sticks, a cheater step, and not a lot of space in between the steps. If I wanted to get another foot or two, I could find it in between each rung or each step that I just mounted. That's how you get to 20 feet with 4 steps, a mobile lock-on stand, and that's how you break the habit of hunting out of climbing stands and being a slave to whatever tree looks like a telephone pole. Now this one is a little bare because we use it as an example, but this could have limbs the whole way up and it wouldn't make a difference. You put those steps around those limbs, you make you a clear spot at the top for a stand, and you're done.